Am I the butthole for showing my male 22 roommate a security camera footage of her, female 23, having sex in my room? I live with 3 roommates, and since I've had bad experiences with roommates before, I installed a security camera to get an alert if someone enters my room. One day when we were all at work/school, one roommate and her boyfriend entered my room and had sex for whatever reason. My app alerted me and started recording automatically. When I got home, I confronted her about it and she owned up to it, said they did it in a different room to spice things up, and said that it's not that big of a deal. She was, however, pretty angry at the fact that I had a security camera in my room and a video of her having sex, which I deleted obviously. She said that recording her having sex is a bigger invasion of privacy than her having sex in my room. AITA in that situation? Not the butthole. She shouldn't have been having sex in your room in the first place, and you have every right to have a camera in your room. You didn't set out to record her having sex. It's not an invasion of her privacy, because she's not entitled to privacy when in your personal space. I wonder how many times she did this. To know that original poster was sleeping on the same sheets without knowing anything is just ew. It's not a bigger invasion of privacy. Op should notify the other roommates too. She's probably had sex in all their rooms. I would also clean the furniture and give the kitchen a good scrubbing. Don't want to chop potatoes where the roomie might have been bent over the counter. NTA, I would force the roommate that's banging in others' rooms to scrub everything and wash all the linens. This is what I came to say, 100, have an award. But they'd probably do a bang-up job. You know she'll come clean. They done that apartment dirty. Exactly this. She should be the one doing all the cleaning. While singing "It Wasn't Me." Hell no. She should buy original poster new bed linen. Honestly, for me, that's grounds to tell her to GTFO. Like, I would be so angry. I don't know if that's an option, but Jesus Christ. I mean, beyond the yuck factor, there's also A, the invasion of privacy, B, the lying, C, the taking offense over something that's entirely roomies doing, D, the blame on op. I would simply not feel comfortable at all living with this person, and her BF, who clearly doesn't understand boundaries and respect either. That's what we call gaslighting. Manipulate someone by psychological means into questioning their own sanity. I had sex on your bed? No, you're the one who did something wrong, by catching me. Sure. That's what she's angling for. It's crazy. Exactly. Original poster could totally have a narcissist roommate. Her reasoning was atrocious. Lol, can someone actually think like that? Wonder if she's an only child. I understand the sentiment of this comment, but also feel there's a bigger issue if they're not cleaning/sanitizing the common areas on a regular basis, especially the kitchen. Regular cleaning doesn't matter that much. I clean as I go and do a more thorough clean twice a week. If my flatmate F's someone in a shared area while I'm out at work, then how should I know I need to be scrubbing down everything the moment I'm back home instead of just grabbing something to eat and relaxing in my presumably clean home? Dicing onions right where her naked butthole has been sitting on the counter. Thanks, I hate butthole onions. No. Ass onions. Butthole onions would be specifically placed in here/s butthole. I think you mean onion rings. And bent over is probably the best case scenario here. This is one of those times where ignorance is bliss. Laughing out loud. No, that's not bliss, it's crabs. Or maybe pink eye. Or just the herpes. Not herpes, at least. It doesn't survive outside the body long enough for transmission like this to work. Same thing for pink eye to my understanding. Gastroenteritis is more likely. I learned some hard lessons about washing my hands much better after my first son was born. Yes, herpes. The goo from a herpes sore can live quite a long time compared to others and is very potent, greater than 12 hours in fact. While you are shedding the virus, it is very easy to infect other people as well. Skin contact with a sore, bodily fluids transfers, past items which have the virus on them, etc. And fecal matter or other bacteria on bedding can cause pink eye. It's highly contagious as well. The bacteria or viruses that cause it can live from 2 hours to 8 weeks. Please don't spread misinformation about STDs. It doesn't help anyone. Edit. Eating poop is bad. Don't do that either, please. Or at least don't brag about it. Web link. My brother gave my other brother pink eye by farting on his pillow. It definitely can happen. Laughing out loud. I have 3 stepbrothers. One time somebody peed on something. Then it escalated. Fart on pillows. Toothbrushes in toilets. Pee in shampoo. Lice. Worms of all kinds. It got bad. I don't speak to them. I had no idea children could have so many gross diseases. Pink eye was frequent due to surprise fart/face incidents between them. Luckily, my stepmother worked for the hospital under our family care doc. I really hope you weren't caught up in their warfare. Rest of the world, nothing, absolutely nothing. USA, pink eye, pink eye, pink eye. Like, what the F even is pink eye? No one else has it. No one else worries about it. It's so weird. It's like a trope of American teenaged male experience, which is then replaced as you age by that other trope, wanking in a sock, also not a thing in the UK because we have foreskins. Pink eye is usually called conjunctivitis in the UK. Doesn't seem as common here. It's spread by bad hygiene. Yeah, my ex gave me the bliss a while back, had to take Z-Pack. Only fair he gets to jizz all over her room. They would probably be able to charge him with something if she finds out. Add up. I have a camera in my room installed as well and one hidden on my bicycle that I keep in the communal hallway. I had to take this measure because one of my roommates would threaten to get his gun and shoot me after heavily drinking. I do not look at this as an invasion of privacy. I do this by myself some reaction time, and for my personal safety. She's deflecting her own bad behavior. I would lobby the other roommates to help vote kick her out. Yeah, that's gross and also a good way to get scabies. You don't have sex in other people's beds, it's rude. Rule number 1: don't make whoopee in other people's beds/homes. If I was original poster, I'd be giving roommate a bill for new bedding because I wouldn't want to sleep in my bed after other people had sex in it. I'm curious what the other roommate has to say about it. I'm guessing they probably did it in their bed as well. There's a TV show that touches on this subject, and while I love the show, this episode didn't really sit right with me. It's called Kim's Convince, and in one of the episodes the girl's parents go to her apartment to drop off something and they accidentally go into the roommate's room and find out he has a water bed. One thing leads to another and they have sex on it. They go back a few more times, I think, and eventually pop the bed. The daughter finds out and is grossed out and makes them pay for a new water bed for her friend/roommate. Then she breaks it to them what her parents did but lets them know it was replaced. The roommate and their GF kind of just brush it off because they understand and how it's exciting to do that and stuff, so the girl is confused on how they know until she realizes that they use her bed for sex every now and then. Episode kind of ends like that with everyone okay with everything, but I was just grossed out by the end and had the heebie-jeebies. I know this is slightly off topic, but is that a good show? I've been thinking about starting it whenever it pops up in my Netflix feed, but I never heard anyone actually talk about it before. It's really cute and wholesome, good for when you're not in the mood for anything angsty and just want to watch people figure out solutions for their reasonable problems. I'm sensitive to secondhand embarrassment, so I can only watch 2 to 3 episodes in a go before I have to take a break, but it's really charming overall. Sounds like exactly what I was looking for. Just want a nice quirky and wholesome show to watch after work to unwind. I can only watch Bob's Burgers so many times as that used to be my go-to for that. Also prone to the second-hand embarrassment, so I'll proceed with caution. Laughing out loud. Schitt's Creek is another nice quirky show, if you haven't seen that. I'm rewatching it for the 4th time right now. I was going to describe it as a gentler Schitt's Creek. I've actually watched Schitt's Creek already, but I agree it's a great show. I just saw it for the first time and I am absolutely in love with Schitt's Creek. Going to have to rewatch soon. Depending on how you feel about competition/reality type shows, Great British Bake Off is one of my other great shows to watch. It's wholesome as F and everyone is really sweet, and they're always helping each other even though it's a competition. I recommended it to my mother-in-law not too long ago. You should watch the Great Canadian Baking Show if you like GBBO. It's the spin-off and it's so wholesome. Bruno is a wholesome version of Paul Hollywood and it's all just so uplifting. I made the mistake of watching the Canadian one before the British one and saw it become more dramatic towards the last few seasons, after Channel 4 took over. Can't wait for the new Canadian season to air this weekend to bring me back to the happier version. I love Kim's Convenience. And I'm so happy because one of the main actors is the lead in an upcoming Marvel film. Another Canadian joining the Marvel ranks. I'm very much looking forward to seeing it. Simu Liu is hot as F. That is all so true. Ha ha. Always nice to see my neighbors to the north getting some love. Which actor? I'll keep an eye out for them. Simu Liu. One of the best shows on Netflix. Simu Liu is great as this hot but not so book club jock. The family dynamics are incredible. The show makes you smile. Book club jock is not a combination of things I thought I'd ever hear. Haha, I do like a series where the characters interact well with one another comedically. Sounds like a good wholesome time. I totally meant book smart jock, but my brain doesn't really work once I start thinking about Simu. To be honest. It's a great show. Very charming. It's very endearing in a non-sappy way. Recommend. It's a great show. Give it a watch. You should. It's one of my absolute favorites. I have a real problem with someone else sleeping in my bed, never mind them having sex on it. I'd be throwing out the sheets and considering whether to burn the bed or not. It's probably not normal, but I have to think not wanting someone else's sweat, cum, and other bodily fluids anywhere near your bed is normal at least. If you're one of the contributing parties, sure. What really freaks me out is that they clearly didn't change the sheets after having sex in Op's bed. I had someone sleep in my bed once while I was staying the night at a guy's place. Shivers, she asked if she could do so, but I was already asleep so she just did it. If someone else had sex in my bed, I don't think I could ever look at my bedding the same way again. Truthfully, I don't even really like sleeping on the same bedding I had sex on, and I often change the sheets afterwards. I'd be so grossed out if I found out I had been unknowingly sleeping on someone else's bodily fluids. That was a good episode. Do people with this attitude never go to hotels? Washing the bedding, sure, but replacing the bedding or the whole bed? Kind of extreme. And wasteful. I agree it's creepy to have sex in someone's bed without them knowing. Just think washing the sheets and bedding would be enough to get rid of any cooties. Edit. Okay, for those who think hotels are magical places where other people's germs are different or can more easily be washed away, what about having guests over that spend the night? If you have a guest room and a couple stays in there, do you have a no-sex rule or throw the bed away before anyone else is allowed to sleep in there? What about if you have a small space and let a couple use your bed for a weekend visit and you take the couch? Do you throw away the bed when they leave? Or do you just act like a sane person and wash the sheets? I think the difference is that one is a private space where you should actively know who goes in and out and who's released fluids on there. Whereas the other is a place you definitely know others have been in and most likely had sex on / in it. But you're making the conscious choice to stay there. However, in my defense, if I'm going to be staying at a sketchy place, I take my own blankets to lay on and use. However, with more fancy hotels, I have more trust in their cleaning process. Just so you know, fancy hotels aren't doing anything special during their cleaning process. I've seen more disgusting things in a $300 night room than a $50 night room. They're all just doing the bare minimum. I know that, but it's the bright white sheets that make you feel clean, whereas the mud brown and puke green sheets and carpets that make you feel icky. Yes, original poster needs to warn the other roommates. Rude is definitely the wrong word. Pretty ironic that she's complaining about an invasion of privacy when she went into someone else's room and had sex on another person's bed. When you share an apartment, your room is your fortress of solitude because it's pretty much the only place where you can have privacy. Now you've got a roommate that decides to do something like this. How much more invasive can you get? Original poster: if you don't have a lock for your room, I think it's time to invest in one. Hey, let me leave some bodily fluids in your bed during a pandemic to spice things up. Crazy story but true. My friend in college, back in 2010, suspected someone was taking money from him and noticed some things were in different spots in his room. He opened his laptop and recorded his room while he went to class. His roommate came in and used his pocket pussy and then put it back. Hide your pocket pussies, kids. Dear God. It's almost as if you should only have sex in your own personal space if you value your privacy. What a wild idea. Seriously, NTA. Bet she didn't wash the sheets after. Talk about reversed roles. The roommate did the privacy invasion, yet now she's the one complaining that her privacy was invaded. It's like going to steal from somebody's house then complaining about privacy invasion if you're recorded on camera. Tell her, if she really owns up to it, she has to buy you a new bed and new sheets. NTA, in what world? I can't even with this one. Original poster, your roommate is defective, send her in for warranty repair or replacement. Not the butthole. It is a big deal to enter someone's room and have sex without them knowing. She can spice it elsewhere. What, like the kitchen table? They probably did do that. Time to break out the UV light and look for stains around every common area surface. It may look like a Jackson Pollock painting. I understood this reference. Not the butthole. She's angry she got caught. And using the reasons why she got caught to try to make you the bad guy. She's angry? Not as you are for her going in your room to have sex. Also, you don't have to delete crap. It's evidence of her being in your space, and could be handy if you feel it's necessary to end the living arrangement with penalty to her. He should delete it. Most states/countries have laws forbidding you from keeping footage of sexual exchanges without express permission. If he didn't have warning signs up outside his room, he could get in even more trouble. Just to be clear, I don't mean share it or show it. I mean just having it as evidence in a legal proceeding if she tries to claim no fault in any process of breaking a lease. That would still be illegal. An original poster could face criminal charges. If the placement of the camera is illegal, any use of the footage is considered illegal even as evidence in court. No judge would allow it to be admitted into evidence in any civil proceeding because they would have to hand it over to the DA to use against original poster in criminal court. The placement inside a private residence wouldn't be illegal, and in most states an individual does not have to disclose if they are recording you, especially in a private residence where you had no right to be without permission. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe to be the first to know about Red Rabbit Reader's new videos. If you like our videos, please like them on YouTube and share them with your friends. We welcome your comments below. Press to start another of our videos.